Good morning, 9th November 21, EU Shipowners 3 with 750 videos to push utility in the strategic maritime sector. I hope that we get our act together now in Brussels because the incompetence in the last 70 years to unify the training of ratings of officers in the European Union really is going to hit us very hard due to that us being strategic geographically and economically situated worldwide in the 50% of world commerce, which accounts for 100,000 ships and 50% approx under the trade or any kind of say core sector of the European Union. So we have to focus here. Now, how? Then Estonia has done a very good proactive measure by declaring that the flag and the seafarers tax-free. It could be time that the rest of European countries would do the same thing. I mean, today is a beautiful day in Brussels, isn't it? Well, it's about time you did something positive for the maritime sector because we are surrounded by sea in Europe, you see. The sea is salted, has salt, and therefore, we need salted measures, positive measures, yes, and we need accountability in Brussels. For example, in Spain, I made accountability. It is 4 million unemployed, worth 8 trillion in 100 years intrinsic value. And also it is another 8 trillion, 100 years intrinsic value if we employ 4 million Spanish. Because dads and millennials have no job, so why not enter into the maritime sector and then swim shore? Because we need maritime brain people, not just public workers that are looking to watch how many hours I'm working or what is my task. Is my task done? That's the mentality of sea heroes, seafarers, bringing 22 million intrinsic value, each of them, to Spain or to Europe. Yeah. Then we could also look at the tax dumping because, for example, we know that 95% of taxes can be erased in Europe because if we do this, then of course the shipping community would be much stronger because commerce would jump. It's very simple. We have a huge competitive disadvantage that they beat the small and medium companies in Europe with regards of Goliaths like Amazons and this. So it would be great that all small and medium companies throughout Europe could compete, and that would mean that the commerce would spike, and therefore, if we cut 95% taxes, of course, the maritime sector would grow, let's say, 20-fold every year, and it would really be focused and centered in Europe because 50% of world commerce is in Europe, and we are surrounded by sea. Yes, salted sea in Brussels, you know, is salt. Yes, so we could really impose these kind of measures. Like, for example, I made some calculations of 28 trillion in Spanish intrinsic value. How to be generated exclusively by the maritime sector is stopping 4 million unemployed grads and then putting 4 million to employment. That's a total 16 plus other 10 that I calculated. For example, if we sell 50,000 public buildings of 5 institutions that really have to fire the Despido Libre, please. They have to fire all these public workers. It's only 4 million. So then that's another 10 trillion. Plus also we have the 300 billion of the public buildings. And then, well, we could also add, for example, the pieces of art they have taken away from humans in the last, let's say, 300 years, total 1 trillion. So this is the kind of message that European ship owners 3 have to impose in order to push the maritime sector much forward. We can simplify also the enlistment contracts. We can return all the fines that the Inquisition is putting to small, medium companies, even to large companies. In my case, it's 270,000 euros. Yes, that is a Spanish Social Security Inquisition they put because they are so incompetent with the Stone Age institution systems that nowadays everything is digital. So we don't need all these buildings, we don't need all these 4 million public workers, and we don't need the fines because the system for accounting, for example, VAT is something that we could erase. Profit tax is something that we could have a 15% or even much lower. Social Security is now 27% and also the income tax. And these are issues that perhaps, for example, in my dear number one country training for seafarers, Latvia, for example, is really a core example of what the European Union could be. Novi Contas in Latvia is, I think, the best training system that we could put like mushrooms throughout Europe to have very competitive, say 300 euro for a basic training for seafarers. So all the crews, for example, we could employ some like 4 million seafarers and even officers, rating to officer, the Latvian system, the UK system, the Deutsch system. These are the kinds of systems that we need to impose in Europe to obtain this 22 million approx intrinsic value per position that we employ European, and also make sure that at shore we have managers. I need someone to take over my position in the future as CEO. I need fleet managers, I need managing directors, I need quality auditors, representatives, finance, labor representatives. In the labor representatives also we should really shorten the bureaucracy. Europe is really a mess. You've done nothing in Brussels. It's about time you do something to simplify 95% or 100% of bureaucracy and then reduce the taxes and 95% and have one system for training ratings to officer and also declare tax-free the flags, tax-free the seafarers, plus there is another huge amount of flags that don't endorse Venezuela, they don't endorse this country, that country. That's something that, please, you must get your act together, because it is going to be such a huge supply chain shortage. Sorry, that perhaps it is better that we don't even put problems to ourselves, is it? Thank you. Take care. Like and subscribe. Bye.